All right, YouTube, just want to let y'all know ahead of time, there will be spoilers in this. Mr. Chris, how are you?
Doing well, sir. How are you doing today?
Not too bad, man. I am been a
Excuse
pretty
me.
busy day. I've
It's been a pretty restful day for me, so
you needed it after the long week they did to you.
yeah, but I know we're way behind on everybody else. We're dropping a review for this movie.
There's no rush. I still got to upload the other video. God, I hate myself for not having that uploaded already. But other than that, let's hop right into it. We're with Infinity Castle movie. It has broken some records, and here's going to be the first interesting one. Demon Slayer made made the U.S. box office history with a 33 million opening day, including with $11 million in preview. The only other one that had this was the first Pokemon movie. And I saw this in theaters as a kid. I'm starting to really feel my age here. Slowly creeping. But it's crazy how impactful Pokemon was back in the day. To see how we're getting some of these anime movies in the box office now. But considering how Hollywood doesn't have a lot of big hits and theaters need to get in some money, it's a good start for them. But I mean, 33 million opening, beating a 27-year-old record. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well, as I said, we've been seeing more and more anime movies starting to come to theaters lately anyway, because the last couple of years it's been at least 2 or 3 a year now. And starting to pick up, and with Sony taking Crunchyroll over, I feel like you're going to start seeing a lot more of them come.
Wish they would have bought somebody else, but whatever. What we're subjugated to. But yeah, oh man. And if you think about it, like back when you and I were growing up, you would have been, how old were you in 98?
I can't even remember. I didn't know back when I was growing up, just for an anime movie to be in theaters, it was extremely, extremely rare.
Well, Pokemon took the world by storm back in the day.
But even with Pokemon though, that was like a one-time thing, because even after that, you really still only rarely saw an anime movie in theaters.
Most of the 90s was ruled by Disney as far as like animation went. God, we
And
went
if you saw
from,
it,
go ahead.
go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say it was banger after banger out of Disney all the way from like 2005, give or take.
Well, when did they acquire or they started partnering with Ghibli?
I want to say it was around the early 2000s, or even maybe a couple of.
I think it might have been in 98, 99.
I'll have to look that up when we're flipped through some other stuff. I'll look that up because I remember seeing. I want to say it was around 2004 or 5, because that's when I was back in the day getting bootleg VHSs of things from Inuyasha movies to Gundam Seed. Which I don't think most of a certain chunk of our audience might know that.
What, Inuyasha?
No,
Or
just
Gundam Seed?
bootleg VHSs.
I know, because I think, was it probably 2003? I think I had started ordering from like overseas. Like that's how I saw like what's the second Inuyasha movie?
Oh God, I don't remember. I think
I still really have that DVD.
the only VHS I still have is my copy of The Hobbit when I was a kid. But I will.
Okay.
I'll go ahead.
And Princess Mononoke came out in October 29th, 1999. So they were already partnered with Ghibli then.
Was that released in the U.S.?
It just said that was in Japan
So
in
probably,
99. So probably 2000, 2001.
I remember Princess Mononoke being one of the first ones that ever just like got me on the Studio Ghibli. Ghibli. I want to say Ghibli. Whatever. Anyways, but what I'm a little bit worried about though for the Demon Slayer next two movies is that they might take too long. I don't want them to take too long, like Attack on Titan did for like, oh, final season, part one, part
Well, I think they
two.
said the second one was coming in, what, 2027?
I would kind of hope 2026, towards the end of 2026. But then again, I don't want them to rush everything. I just don't want everything to be so rushed, but also not well done. So it's kind
Okay.
of the
And to answer your question, it was released in Japan July 12, 1997. In the US was October 1999.
okay. So it was like almost 2 years later. Okay. Ah,
But they think they've said it's going to be 2027, and then the last one will be 2029. That it might get like, if people are hoping it's not like the other one they had where they would think it was like the last movie wouldn't come out until 2031.
yeah, I saw that image, and I hope that wasn't a real accurate image because that's way too long. God. All right, let's see here. The next thing I
But they
want, go
but
ahead.
it's kind of hard though, because I think the studio that does them also does Chainsaw Man and does Jujutsu Kaisen, doesn't it?
Mm, Aniplex does this, so that's a maybe. I cannot say.
'Cause I know
Uh,
that's the same thing they've been talking about. Like they're putting so much detail into these anime series and movies and stuff that's taking way longer to get it done than it used to.
well, this movie had at least like 5 studios on it, so that's kind of a give or take on where the work's going and all that. But yes, everything in this film was very beautiful,
Beautifully anime.
and that's not really saying a lot considering even the anime well done. It's the way the art style is. Now,
Well, I would say the fight scenes are more well done. Sometimes they do slack on just when they're just talking or doing just regular movements and stuff. When they're just not really fighting.
some of the 3D a little bit is a little weird, but it does mesh well with the 2D they're using, so it's not too bad. Now, in this article, this is like 2 days later after the release of Demon Slayer Infinity Castle. So this thing was shattering records in both Japan and North America. So let's see here. The newly animated film, Demon Slayer Kisume no Yaiba, the movie Infinity Castle Arc Part 1, Aka's Return, is continuing its record breaking run to the box office. New figures have been released, revealing the film's massive success in Japan, in both Japan and a number of international markets. Let's see here. In Japan, after 60 days in theaters, that's 2 months, the film had achieved over a total of 23 million people attended. That is insane. I need to go look at what the damn budget was for this film. But domestic box office has now surpassed 33 billion yen, so $225 million USD. Oh, they made their money back. Like I feel like 20-fold. Let's see here. This makes it the second highest grossing film of all time in Japan, of all time in Japan history, surpassing 2001 Studio Ghibli classic Spirited Away. Wow.
What was it compared to Gun to See Freedom?
It probably out. Listen, the Gundam Seed Freedom is not touching Spirited Away or this by a long shot. Because Spirited
I
Away
know
was even really big over here when it got shown. That's the crazy bit.
I just know it was did pretty well.
It did well. It definitely made money, but not this type of money. I th- I think it was like
Yeah.
under a hundred
Well,
million. I think I'll have to double check. But I can't
it
really
made
look at
five
it right
billion. It
now.
made 5 billion yen in Japan.
5 billion. So give or take, that's about maybe 80 million USD. Kind of just spitballing here. Give or take the conversion rates of each year. Let's see here. That's still insane to me. This the second film in this series, mind you, it beat Spirit. It came right behind Spirited Away.
Like
All
Demon
right,
Slayer is real popular.
it is. So it's a great series, and it's one of those series I really love because it sticks to its guns. Being it didn't drop the story anywhere, no crazy time skips or anything. And the manga ended around like two under like 210, I think, in chapters. I'll have to double check. But other than that, though, let's see here. The film has set a new record as the fastest movie ever to reach 30 billion yen. Okay, that's crazy. Let's see, it was about 205 million in USD at the Japanese box office, breaking the previous record held by the first Demon Slayer film, Mugen Train, beating its own records. Good grief. But the
Yeah,
movie is,
with this being like the second movie for him.
is imagine what the third film's gonna be like, or the fourth film. And
Yeah,
and
but
I
that was going to be a real. That was right there. I think it's going to probably beat all of them. It's going to be the conclusion to everything.
oh, it will be. We're in the final stretch here. This is all the final fights and everything. Let's see here. This movie has also been huge. Also has been a huge success internationally. Its total worldwide box office revenue has now exceeded 68 billion. I'm just going to say. I mean, this is 464.5 million. We might as well say the date today is the 20th of September, so this thing's probably reached like 600 million, if not more already. And this is a global attendance of over 55 million people. Good grief. Let's see here. In North America, where the film was released on the 12th of September, it had its largest opening weekend of all time for a Japanese animated film. I mean, the film's opening weekend in North America had brought in a total of 70.6 million, breaking a 26-year-old record, beating that. And that's pretty much it. Just went over where we went. Now, before we dive into a little bit, this was just kind of funny. During the screening of this was, I think, in Mexico. There was a mariachi band that thought this was a showing for Toy Story, and they do "You Got a Friend in Me." I'm going to play a little bit, but I don't want to get copy struck.
Yeah, because they will hit you even if it's not the actual song. There was some crazy stuff happening in this movie.
There was another stupid story, and I saw this happen in Brazil. But this wasn't this is movies rated R, but it's not like a gore fest or anything. There are some it's like a 5-10 year old shouldn't be seeing this technically, but as I mean, as long as the parents with them, it'll be fine. But in Brazil, there were kids being drug out of the theaters watching this. I was like, I mean, I mean, obviously different countries, different rules. I was just kind of surprised at that. But I mean, it's a rated R film, so can't really see it without a parent or guardian. But man, oh, the This is just still kind of funny to me. Let's see here. Let's pick up this. I wanted to look at a few more, like just little tweets or whatever, because it was just funny. This one was always quite cute. A Shinobu fan passed out after watching Demon Slayer Infinity. Like, damn. What was another one? Okay, here's where we're going to kind of get into spoilers. I don't know if this scene affected you as much as it did to me. I was crying at this scene. But for those that don't know, these flowers in the background, they're spider lilies. These are infamous in Japan. I think it comes from urban legends and all that. That spider lilies always have some weird connection with death. So this is kind of like the in between, the afterlife, in a weird way. But man, when Zenitsu beat whatever his name is, because he just wasn't that important. This being like one of the defining moments for me for this film. One of the defining moments of the film for you, sir?
It's kind of one of, I guess I wouldn't say it was a defining moment. I did like it. The fact that he gets to speak with his master after basically actually truly becoming a real successor to Thunder Breathing.
He technically is I know technically most people may not agree with this, but most of the main characters are just Hashiras. They might as well be Hashiras at this point. Zenitsu, like once he like read the letter, you could technically officially say he became the Thunder Hashira at that point. As all the crazy feats he's done, regardless of complaining.
And the fact that he basically created a completely new form of thunder breathing.
All on his own, from speed or from, what was it, or because it's Thunderclap and Flash is the first one, then there's an eightfold of it. Then he, later on in the series, he uses, it's like Godspeed, or what does he call it?
I can't remember because they said they yell out so many attacks and stuff in their fight.
It was just something else. But
I think the fight came to a satisfying conclusion.
It definitely did. Now the fight between Shinobu and Upper 2, we're gonna get that conclusion technically in the next movie.
Well, we already got that conclusion.
Well, but technically the fight's still going on.
Yeah, with what's her apprentice name? I don't know why I forgot her apprentice's name.
I can't remember. But a minor spoiler: Inosuke is going to be in that fight too.
Yeah, he intervenes in that fight.
Well, him and Upper 2 have quite the backstory that'll be revealed as well.
Oh God.
You will be surprised. It's not going to be like super crazy, but it's just crazy how intertwined some fates are.
Hopefully, they might have learned something from this movie.
Yeah, some of those flashbacks were a bit too long. Like Akaza's like flashbacks is like, brother in Christ, I know we need to learn your story, but this is just too long for me, even.
But I thought the Shinobu fight was actually pretty good and really well done.
It definitely was. Out of the like,
go ahead. Because even with flashbacks and stuff, they weren't really that intrusive. Like they would pop up and then they would be kind of short, and then they would come back to the action and to what she's doing.
And this happens in the manga too, but when you're reading the manga, it's not that intrusive in a weird way. But considering how important some of these characters are later on, That's why Akaza's backstory was like you saw so much of it. But I mean, understanding like him out of all the upper six demons, him becoming a demon, you see why he became one.
Yeah, that's I would probably say that's not something I particularly like, especially what anime's doing more so lately.
We're telling backstories later on.
No, is the demon can't just be a demon. No. We need to humanize him, and we need to give you understanding of why they did what they did. Like, no, they can just be a demon.
Well,
That's fine.
That's fair. But this is within Demon Slayer, demons aren't natural. And if you remember, go
I
ahead.
get that, but they could still. I get that, but they could still be like, okay, you're just a demon. Like, I'm just bad. I like being bad. It's not like, oh, I just felt sorry and went into despair, and then I didn't want to die, so I took the blood so I can become a demon. Like, why can they just not just be bad people?
Well, some of these folks, they didn't really get a choice. Like when Akaza was still a human, he had Booth was like, I'm just going to give you a lot of blood and see what happened. And he's like, I don't care anymore.
Well, he was dead anyway.
Well, he would have been dead when Muzan took the hand out if he didn't put any blood in. But damn, that's just, man, he got done taking out all those samurai. It's raining. It's like, you know what? Fine, let's go. Well then, that didn't.
Because his master's form of martial art was supposed to be this super effective form.
It was, but I mean, he had some ridiculous strength just being a human, though. And all the people he tore up. He brutalized that whole dojo.
Mm-hmm. But then getting back to Shinobu, to me, her fight was actually probably the most interesting one out of everybody's. Because she pretty much knew, she went into it knowing that pretty much she was going to die.
Well, she either knew she was going to die, but then after she started, I mean, obviously, you know how she kills demons is with poison.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I mean, mainly she had more thrusting than slashing, but that will come into play later on. You'll find out.
And we finally actually get to see her insect breathing style in action.
Yes, that was very nice to see. I wish they kind of would have like where she mixes the poison, like did a sort of like an X-ray, like how it would work in the skeever. I would have liked to have seen that a little bit.
I think it works more like you remember the first Avengers movie?
Yeah.
Like when Hawkeye basically sheaves the arrow tip, and it basically does it on his clicks the buttons on his thing to kind of select.
Yeah, and his quiver.
Yeah. I just think it works kind of like that, where as soon as she sheaves and twists, it switches.
I just wish it kind of would show inside, like, is there, because like where there's the missing part of that blade, is there just a mixture of like vials that like certain twists will add what mixture to the tip? Because all the poison like concentrated in the tip for sword.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a pretty unique thing to see, but I'm not gonna like cry over it.
But she definitely fights hard, and you can basically tell like, okay, yeah, she's not gonna win. She's outclassed.
Well, when he did his first thing of like blood demon art, basically turning his blood into like frost, and she breathed it in. Yeah, that was kind of like pretty much written her death certificate there. But she's done some damage. There ain't no getting away from what's coming to later.
Yeah, cause we basically, well, we're not gonna spoil that part, so. But But if you've been paying attention in the series, you kind of know where that's going to lead. Now the fight between Zenitsu and the form, which I kind of figured, because he has some weird ties, because he's actually tied to the lead Hashira, isn't he? Like
Which
he
now?
betrayed them, the lead Hashira, the guy that was formerly a thunder breather that became a demon.
Yeah, he betrayed them basically.
No, he had like what's the head captain one? I think he was one of the children when he had that orphanage, and he basically betrayed him to save his
Oh,
own life by basically
yeah, the
knocking the stuff over.
Stone Hoffer. Yeah, yep. Yeah, it's like two betrayals. You see, he's just a survivor. As long as you survive, you win. Yeah, where the blind monk, the Stone Hashira. Yeah, he was among those orphans.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy how some of these characters are kind of intertwined with each other.
And oh man, I don't know if he ever. I don't remember if the Stone Hashira ever learns that or not. I'll have to look that up or look through a couple
He
of
might
volumes.
he might have known, but it might be one of those things where he's kind of moved on from it, or not forgotten it, but just kind of moved on. Even though, like, if you read the manga, you know what the fate there lies. A lot of these characters.
Pretty
I see
much.
Mr. Jeshua. I see Mr. Jeshua try to be quiet because he doesn't want to spoil the
I
next two
don't, because
movies.
they're so hard. It's so hard not to say certain things because I know what's going to happen and reveal. And some of the stuff we've already talked about has already been in the previous season because you saw part of the Stone Hashira's past in there, and part of that Thunder Breather's name or whatever. He's not really that important. He just deserved to die.
Which is really crazy to me that Tanjiro. Then the Tanjiro fight with Akasa is probably the longest one, and the one that they stick with the the most that whole time.
Yeah, it's the main. It's the main fight between Giyu. Is it Giyu? Giyu and
Yeah,
Tanjiro doing that.
which is kind of weird to me that Upper One hasn't even stepped in.
Well, they're going to go fight Upper Rank 1. They're going to fight Upper Moon 1. That's going to be 4 Hashiras in that fight. I ain't telling you which ones. That's going to be one of the toughest fights for them. Besides, obviously, fighting Muzan at some point.
Yeah, because Miss Tamayo is not. She's not gonna be able to hold on forever. Which
Oh,
I'm pretty sure I guess we could say I don't think she's gonna make it out.
no, she's going to get absorbed.
I think
But
she's
that'll
fine with that.
also have some costly effects to Muzan for a
Moves
little
on.
bit.
Yeah, 'cause it's like it was just crazy to me that like he planned this down. The only one that knew about this was the Stone Hashira.
Well, he was the only
Like I'm
one
gonna,
that what's his name, leader of the whole Demon
yeah,
Slayer
the
Corps,
master.
the master could trust, knowing what would have to be done, but also knowing that I didn't know how many kids the guy had at the beginning. Like, I mean, not obviously the others being his children, but like, I mean, actual children. And then you come to
It
find
was
out he had
like,
4
like
girls and
five.
1 boy.
Yeah, which is
And
crazy. He was willing to sacrifice himself, his wife, and his 2 daughters to lure Muzan in.
but they knew the sacrifice that was coming. So, I mean, knowing you have like 3 heirs out there he doesn't know about and doing what it takes, it's pretty insane. Because I didn't see that kind of coming at the end of the swordsmith or the end of that arc. I thought that was going to be in the movie. I was like, oh, whoa, okay, whoa. Like, oh, we went way faster into this than I anticipated. But I mean, you that's all the Hashiras just like coming at the last minute trying to kill Muzan, and then bam, the Infinity Castle stuff starts happening. Everybody's going right in
And
there.
yeah, they pull all the Demon Slayers in there. all the Demon Slayer Corps, I guess, that were in that area.
Pretty much, and that was kind of a bad idea. I'm going to kill all of them, Mr. Muzan. I was like, you kind of may have screwed yourself there, friend. Because I mean, with the fight between Giyu and Tanjiro and Akaza, like we'll get into a little bit of that. Like also, like after the crazy amount of fighting between Giyu, because even though the newest form, he created Calm Mind for the Water Hashira form or the water form. But the fact that even wasn't quote unquote effective against Akaza's Death Needle, I believe that was what it was called. What was that thing called? Or Death Needle Compass? I can't remember. And I mean, with that, he was trying, he sensed fighting spirits or like killing intent. But when they got into like Tanjiro should have been dead. With Tanjiro's body like moves at the last second type. It's silly to almost call it this, but forgive me. Like
he's got spider sense.
That's not even spider sense. This is ultra instinct shenanigans. Body moved on its own. But then you see he starts remembering about his father, talking about the selfless state. And Akazo is trying to attain that and couldn't, being a demon, obviously. But then you see the explanation by Tanjiro. My dad showed me this the one time, and you see the preparation, like his dad went through and all that before he passed away. But killing the bear, almost being as sickly as he was, so effortlessly. It's like two chops in one go. No, it didn't even look like it though. And go ahead.
I think it's supposed to be the state of which you have no killing intent, but you're kind of like, I will defend myself.
Pretty much. And most of the time, Tanjiro is like defeating people because he has a really good sense of smell. That's kind of a weird trait to have for like the main character, but it was interesting still. But this is where it goes beyond just all the senses. This is, you have to reach a bit beyond yourself. And he lopped off Akaza's head fair and square. But
but not even that stops him.
But I mean, he's in upper rank, so. And I mean, it took a while to kill upper rank 4 too. So this just shows how ridiculous they are. Because I mean, obviously beheading Muzan is not going to work. You have to do a lot more than just that. But the fact that Akaza was technically evolving during that fight, but he was pissed too. He's like, I lost fair and square. Stop. and it was, if it wasn't for those flashbacks and everything we see, like Tanjiro reminds him of his master and all that happening. But that fight was one of the best fights. It kills me, like when the flashbacks were happening. Like I wish they were more, they would, because the movie was over 2 hours and a half. Like I get what they're going, and I know people go ahead.
And 25 minutes of that was his backstory.
I'd say 30.
Yeah, I think they ran it down. It's like 25 minutes. Like the last 25 minutes of the movie, basically, with another 5 minutes for them to wrap everything up.
I think the movie was 3 hours long. Because the showing I went to started at 7:30. I didn't get out of that theater till 10:30. So no, that was 3 hours. Excuse me. It didn't feel like it, but it started to feel to drag with some of those long ones. But hopefully they won't do that in some of the others. There's only been a couple of movies I can tell you that have been almost like 4 hours long I have watched, and it didn't feel like 4 hours. or almost 4 hours. And that's the Lord of the Rings extended edition, even as long as those are. Even those, they have their slow moments, but I think once all these films are out and people like someone's going to work, some people will sit through these in one sitting, and it won't feel like that probably when they're going back to back on the films.
It will depend. Because I don't want to make that statement until like the other two movies come out.
You know what?
Because
Go ahead.
Because I'm about to say, because until those two movies come out, if they're going to shoot for 3 hours or 2.5 to 3 hours with all those movies, it's like, yeah, you can't have that long of a low point. Not saying that it was bad that we got to see Akasa's backstory, but the fact that they spent that much time on it, and it's like in the course of a right in the middle of a fight that's going on, and you're stopping, and then you're spending like 20 to 25 minutes on a backstory for this character. And I could tell you, people when I went to go see it, even I started yawning because it's like, man, this movie, it's like it slows down so much that it starts to make you sleepy. It starts to realize how long it's been.
And when you have, I think the longest film I've ever sat down and watched was the Zack Snyder's verse of Justice League. And for the most part, it didn't feel like 4 hours, but I'm like, that was long.
I know, I love that one. I sat and watched it one day, just back all the whole time.
Like I said, it's the way the movie is paced and everything, from like how how everything just goes. It just doesn't feel like 4 hours. And that's the one thing, if you're going to do long movies, you need to have the proper pacing for something like that.
Yeah, and that's what my main thing with people got mad with IGN for just saying that, and I'm just like, they're not lying. It has a pacing problem, especially with some of these flashbacks, and like that's being honest about the situation. And that's why I say when I looked around at reviews and pretty much everybody was dismissing it as that wasn't a big thing or that wasn't an issue, that the movie was a 10 out of 10. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with saying, yeah, the movie could still be great, amazing, and still saying, but it does have some problems here and here. But the fact that Demon Slayer fans are basically like, no, the movie's perfect in every way, shape, and form. It has no flaws. I'm like, you're being very disingenuous, and I can't take you seriously when you're basically sitting here saying this movie is perfect when it clearly has flaws that people are basically expressing, and y'all are just dismissing that.
Oh, you know how it goes, man.
Like I said, I like I said, the movie is great. Just because I feel that the movie has pacing problems does not mean that I think the movie is terrible. The movie is great. It's definitely it's a day one Blu-ray pickup when it comes out. But if you're gonna be honest with your audience, then be honest with your audience. Don't sit here and just tell everybody it's a perfect movie.
You know how, I mean, they take the consensus of the internet, so you know how it goes.
I'm like, yeah, but to me, that's you're not being honest. If you're a reviewer, you need to be basically just tell the truth regardless of what you may feel or think of it. And especially if you're an anime reviewer and you're basically saying that this movie is perfect in every way, when you yourself knows that a lot of people are going to find issue with that one little section or the couple of sections, even with the Shinobu fight where the flashbacks kind of pop in, go away, pop out. It's like, okay, we're fighting, flashback over, we're fighting again, oh, flashback again. All right, now we're out of the flashback. Let's go. Okay, we're back into another flashback. people are going to have problems with that. Even if you're a real huge Demon Slayer fan, you're going to have issues with kind of how they did it. That's why I say I kind of hope they refine it a little bit more in the second and third movies.
They will, I believe. Then again, they may continue. We'll just have to see. But I hope they do take this feedback and not. So some of the movies may be like 2.5 hours, which I think is fair runtime. And
I think they should just. I think they should just bump it and just go to 3 hours, not just 2.5. Like, look, if you're trying to tell this story, if you need 3 hours to get some stuff in there that can help you in the next movie, go ahead and take that 30 minutes.
Oh, they will. Because remember, we still don't. Obviously, I know the Snake Hashira's backstory. You'll find out in the next movie, probably.
Yeah, I hope he tells our girl he loves her finally. Even though I think she knows. Which is kind of weird to me because I don't know how you harness how love is a breathing style.
Well, it's just the style she uses. It's not really. Remember, these are styles based on things, not actual, like they use the element. The elements, you see them are just representations of it. Like Snake Hashira uses, I mean, his full fighting style is like based on like Snake and all that, obviously. Like think about the martial arts in Kung Fu and karate and all that. They're based on real life things, but that you don't see the actual elements. We're not Avatar here. Avatar: Last Airbender.
Don't even start me on that series because they're redoing it, making a third season.
What are the live action?
No, the animated one's getting a third series.
Okay, whatever. I just won't watch it. I hope people enjoy it. That's just what I'm going to say on it.
It seems interesting because I think it's supposed to take place years after Korra dies, and it's a set of twin avatars this time.
Interesting.
But after the mess that happened, there was the Legend of Korra. I don't know. I don't know. Just the way they bungled that series at the end.
Like I said, you can't capture lightning in a bottle. I'll say you can't capture lightning in a bottle twice.
Well, I ain't gonna say that because they did that first season. I would say is a solid season. When at the time we thought it was just gonna be a one-off.
That's fair.
But it seems like once they tried to expand it into multiple seasons, and I would say Zahir, that was actually a decent season. Like they had decent villains, they just didn't really do much with it.
Well, after the first series villain, they didn't really do too much. It was kind of hard to beat him.
Well, because everybody wanted what we thought we was gonna get, which was a young, like them as young adults, like they were like in their 20s, like with the comic book series where they started searching for Zuko's mom. That's what people thought with the second series was going to be.
Fair.
But let's get back to this right here. We're getting off topic.
Yeah.
What did you think of pretty much just the whole Akaza fight backstory and ending, how it came to an end?
It was tragic. I mean, out of all the stories we've learned about this far, it seemed when I say justified, it's justified to like you see why he becomes what he becomes, and it makes it more sad. And I know you hate like all demons should be demons, but then that's not how this story has been written. There are some stories like in Goblin Slayer, goblins are evil and reincarnated as a slime. goblins are not evil. So, but when you have too many gray areas of hero or like the hero and villains, it becomes annoying. Sometimes you just need good versus evil. This is a fair. This has been a fair balance of like good versus evil, and you see why some of them become evil. Straight up, just kill, just to kill.
Let me refine that statement. Like when I say that a demon can just be evil to be evil, that doesn't mean like you can't have a demon that has good reasons for becoming a demon.
Right.
But that can't be every demon in your story. And that's my biggest problem. It's like, no, we need to understand, what his mental state. Like, no, we don't. Like the upper two, oh, my family built the religion around me, and I'm just basically a psychopath waiting to happen.
Well, at least you understand the reasoning for him. We don't. You understand he's just a pure psychopath through and through to the end.
Like, yeah, but it's like you really didn't need to explain his backstory. Like it's kind of very self-explanatory. You meet his character.
Well, then when you think about Upper Four was a coward his whole life. Pathetic coward, and then even as a demon, he was almost like that. it gives it just really depends on how the character is written, Mr. Chris. I think is the best way
Yeah,
to sum it.
yeah. But like I said, that was just my thing. I just don't think every character needs to sit in that moral gray area.
Some of them didn't. When you learn their backstory, some of them were. Some of them just don't. You understand why they are the way they are. You ain't gonna feel sorry for them.
Like that's the thing. I just don't care to feel sorry for him. And like he could just have this, just say, you know what? Yeah, I just want to be a deal. I just never liked people, and I just want to kill people. Okay, cool. I don't need to go all the way back to your childhood and experience your life all the way up until when you became a demon to feel sorry for you. The Akasa backstory didn't really bother me too much because it does give him a lot more character development than he had prior to that. Especially after Mugen Train, when he was like really was like the pretty much the star that showed him and Rengoku at the end. And then they kind of don't really tell you much about him for the next 2 seasons.
I think
He
so.
he's just kind of like Muzan's foot soldier. He's like, because it seems like whenever he's the one Muzan sends out to kind of keep tabs on everything.
Right.
And I'm like, I would like to know more about that character. So I didn't really too much mind it, but his backstory does drag on for a while, and I think they kind of could have shortened it and made maybe like 5 minutes, knocked off by 5 minutes of it, and kind of went back. But I did feel sorry for him, like the fact that he finally finds his purpose, his place, and then it gets ripped away from him. Especially like the way it happens. Like if he had been there, well, if he had been there, he probably would have died with his master and his future wife, or he might have been able to stop it. So I can see why he kind of blames himself for what happened to them.
It's really hard to say the way some of this is, because I can't say anything because I don't want to spoil anything more. Because some of these stories are going to get kind of, they're not going to get too convoluted, but some of them are going to be kind of long, especially when we get to the Snake Hashira backstory.
Oh, is he from that samurai clan?
No, but his clan was worshiping demons. I won't say anymore, but you'll see why he wears a mask and all this and that, and why he has a serpent with him all the time.
He's a spy.
I say nothing. I reveal nothing. You assume what you want.
Yeah, you gave us a good clue.
Or maybe I'm just diverting. It's not hard to do.
Well, yeah, because I've read, I've basically watched enough videos to see what happens to a lot of the characters. So I'm kind of ahead of that.
Well, we will see if your videos are correct or not, Mr. Chris. Oh,
I know I'm talking about like the Hashiras and stuff. But we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about them.
no. But
So, but
overall,
one of
how
my
would you
friends,
rate? Go ahead.
I just had a friend that he went to go see it and he was mad because he didn't expect Shinobu to die.
That's why I try not to say anything to anybody. It's just you. Is someone going to die, man? No, I ain't telling you, Jack. You're going to have to go see for yourself.
But my overall rating of the movie,
We'll say overall rating with each fight, then we'll get to our final scores of the movie.
if I had to say the most perfect fight in the series, in the movie, excuse me, was probably a 10 out of 10 with Shinobu to me.
To me, it was
Like,
oh, go ahead.
because to me the fight was good, the pacing, even with the flashbacks, the pacing of the flashbacks and everything was good. They were a lot of them, but I'm like, it fits within the cuts of the battle. I would say that.
That's fair. To me, in particular, the Zenitsu fight between his adoptive brother, Upper Moon Six, is it was short, sweet, to the point. And you see why he was almost in so many ways he respected his adoptive brother regardless of being hated. But when it came down to it, after Grandpa having to commit seppuku on his own without a second, that whole thing just sent Zenitsu right into just, all right, I have my task, I know what I need to do, and I got to do it. That's the kind of thing you will. I feel some stories miss, but that fight, yeah, I swear, Zenitsu was just holding back, just trying to figure out why he let why his adopted brother became a demon. And once he found out, it's like, all right, that's it. I've had enough. You go bye bye now. And plus that the flashbacks and where he lingers between life and death just hit so perfectly.
I would say a 9. I would give it a 9.
I'll give it an 8.5, and it's just only because some of the last uh the last friggin' flashbacks are just too long.
Well, I didn't mind that one too much being a little longer because it finally gives him that closure he's been needing for a long time.
Yeah. And I want to point this out just a bit. It was let me go find this real fast because this didn't irk me in a weird way. It's just I don't think he was paying attention. One of the folks we know in our like gameplay group, he said he saw it, but let's see, where was it? It was about Zenitsu, but in is he like also the reveal of Zenitsu's reason for fighting was hilariously short, and still doesn't explain why he was a creep towards women. And he's like legit surprised they like him so much. He's like, brother, you haven't been paying attention to the story. Like the dude married some, and then the woman screwed him over and left him with a debt. And then old grandpa basically pays for his debt and adopts him because he needs a successor. And the other guy just like was just there. So this and then I mean during his training he got struck by lightning. So I mean when you're left with like basically being scarred by an ex-wife, you're looking for like that initial like family connection almost. You're trying to fix that. And throughout throughout the series you see what happens. And he finally he just falls in love with her. Nesco by sight, and it's just like, oh my god. Because I almost quit watching the damn series after the first season because of him. But then when you see him, he gets better and better. Like it's like, okay, hey, when you see someone go through that type of struggle, you understand why. Because he's looking for a family like that, a solid family connection, and not everybody gets that, especially nowadays. So I mean, if it wasn't for really good friends like for Nosuke and Tanjiro, and Sanosuke or Zenitsu would have probably died.
I think he's pretty good.
But every
I
time he
say
does see a beautiful woman, it's like, brother, go on. Sorry.
I think a lot of people some people had problems like it does kind of reference a lot of things that happen in the series. So if you haven't really watched Demon Slayer and you're just coming into the movie, or you somewhat watch it here and there, didn't really finish it, then it's going to be confusing.
Well, most people that are watching this, they've seen the series. There's no excuse.
Well, no, it was some people. It was some people in my theater. I talked to them after we left. Like they watched the first season and then they kind of was it in and out of the next couple of seasons, and then they came to the movie. So they were kind of like they was learning some stuff for the first time.
I hate anime tourists. I hate them.
Yeah, but that's the popular thing though, because it did give people time to kind of catch up on, what was going on.
Hell, they damn well had it for free for you to view Demon Slayer 1 through 2 quite a while, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think they stuck it on YouTube, didn't they?
I believe so. There's no excuse.
Well, okay, I guess we get to the Arkansas fight. What would you rate that one?
Oof. That was definitely 9 out of 10. Except those last few moments. It's what really gets me in that fight, but that's just that. What about you, sir?
I would say the same, 9 out of 10. That we're actually getting to see Tanjiro use a lot more of the sun breathing stuff was definitely interesting. To see how far he's come with the techniques.
Because he's using water breathing and sun breathing at the same time. Which that's no easy feat either for anyone.
I don't know. Maybe I need to go look at some videos because, like, he does look a lot like the creator of sun breathing.
Well, his remember his father said that that dance came from his grandfather, and so do the earrings. So obviously, put one and one together, Mr. Chris. Come on, we can do it.
Well, I remember because when they showed it the flashback, wasn't he like a baby when his father met? Well, no. So that was a flashback. So it probably was his grandfather.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of like, 'cause I remember the flashback where we meet I'm assuming that was Tanjiro's great grandfather, where he meets him.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay. So did he just stop being a demon slayer and start a family? Because
Well, he passed on his unofficial grandfather. He didn't. It's revealed in the manga that the originator of the sun breathing technique, he basically passes it on to like Tanjiro's family. So he ends up being the successor to it without really knowing it till later on, obviously. But I mean, Muzan and the sun, the origin or the founder of like sun breathing meet for like the final time. He almost killed Muzan, but he dies standing. He almost killed him, but he dies at the last moment, essentially. That was when he was in his 80s too, by the way, if I'm not mistaken.
I was like, he never awakened his demon slayer mark,
Who?
the originator.
Marks didn't really become a thing till like later on. You have, if you go relook up his backstory, you will see why he is as strong as he is. Because if you remember, Upper One was originally his brother.
Mm-hmm.
I won't go any more into that.
Yeah, I remember that he's his brother, which is kind of like, I guess it just feel weird when you see like a demon using like breathing techniques.
Well, I mean, Upper Six was using thunder breathing, except for the first form,
Yeah.
because they couldn't ever master it.
Yeah, that's what I said. That was kind of weird too. It's like you can master everything but this one form, and he can master this one form but nothing else.
It's essentially of the old saying, fear not the man that practices 1,000 moves, fear the man that practices the one move 1,000 times.
True.
Because I mean, regardless of knowing all those techniques, having that more power, Zenitsu still beat his brother.
So, what is your overall score for the movie?
8.5. Honestly, an 8.5 is a solid score from me. What about you, sir?
I would say the same. Like even with everything, even with the flashback pacing and stuff, I think the movie is still great. I still love the movie. Still think it was good. Can't wait for the next two.
It's going to be insane what the next two are. And I'm going to be so excited when we get to the Snake Hashira. You have no idea how much I'm probably going to be like jumping up and down in a damn chair, rooting on for that fight.
Uh, Even though I hate they kind of marketed like Nezuko was going to be in this fight, like she was going to be in the Infinity Castle.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a little dumb, but that's just kind of how it goes sometimes.
uh, but overall, definitely worth you going to see. Especially if you really like Demon Slayer, I can see somebody seeing it multiple times.
Yeah, I'm think I may go see it this weekend. We'll see. This upcoming weekend, excuse me. Well, that's pretty much all my thoughts on the film. What about you, Mr. Chris?
No, that's pretty much it for me when it comes to that. Solid movie. Go see it if you haven't seen it already.
Highly recommend. Well, other than that, folks, you all have a wonderful evening, and we will catch you in the next episode of the Questionable Perspective podcast.